If you want to listen to this in a still position, then just let yourself take all the time that you need to fidget and to stretch and do things that feel good to your body right now. In fact, I can find it really helpful to just create a little bit more space in the stomach area. So maybe it feels good to lift your arms above your head. Maybe you bring your palms to face each other or to face forward. And just feel the bottom of your rib cage separating a little bit more from your hip bones and just giving all your organs some more space to breathe. Maybe even feeling the rib cage open up a little bit to give your lungs a little bit more space, if that feels good. Maybe bring the shoulders up toward the ears and then dropping them back down the back. Maybe bending over to one side and then to the other. And from here, just letting yourself move in any ways that feel good for your body to move. So not worrying at all about what this looks like, but seeing if you can just let your body move for you. Letting yourself move in that, or following the path of least resistance. And really coming into your sense of feeling and just moving in whatever ways feel good. And if what feels good for you right now is stillness, then honoring that as well. And there is no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. But if at any point you feel ready to sort of settle down and come to a still position, you can do so. And just finding a place where the spine is straight, where the shoulders can relax. And if you're in a place where you feel safe, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. And you can mark your arrival into your body today, into this practice, with a full intentional cleansing breath. A long and slow inhale in through the nose, just letting yourself fill up fully, as you then pause for just a moment to really feel what it's like to be full. And then letting go of all of that when you need to. Slowly exhaling fully. And then pausing once again to just feel what that emptiness feels like. As you just let the next breath come as it's needed. And you can breathe just like that for a few more rounds, for as long as it feels good. And just by exaggerating the 4 parts of your breath. The inhale, the pause at the top of the inhale, followed by the exhale and the pause at the bottom of the exhale. And at any time, you can just release this guidance over your breath altogether. And let yourself come into the role of the observer. And see if you can witness your body breathing rather than having any direct influence over your breath. Reminding yourself how the breath is a function in the body that can happen completely on its own. Remembering how your body breathes automatically even when you're deep in sleep. And bringing some awareness just to any initial reactions you are having today. Any emotions that might be communicated by expressions resting on your face. Maybe some tension in the brow or tightness in the jaw, flaring of nostrils, maybe some holding in the ears or the chin. And just use this time to remind yourself that it is safe for you to relax. And when we allow ourselves this quiet time, this designated time and space to relax and soften into our bodies, there may be some parts of us that begin to get a little louder. Maybe some skepticism or judgments or any harsh voices in our minds, or any physical parts of us that are resisting this relaxation. And just know that that is completely normal and almost expected. And there is nothing wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong if that is happening right now. And oftentimes in meditation practices, we hear things along the lines of ignoring the thoughts or almost transcending the thoughts, transcending the ego. And this idea of pushing away things that aren't pleasant and just focusing on love and light. And sometimes this can be a helpful practice, depending on what stage of life you're in. But oftentimes what I find is that this approach can almost cause more harm than good. It can push away things that are trying to be heard within us. So I offer this time and space to be for you to almost take inventory of what is coming up for you, even when those thoughts and feelings are negative or painful or hurtful. And in this quiet time, there can be a lot of chatter within us. So rather than ignoring the chatter, maybe just listening to whatever is talking the loudest right now. And just seeing what parts of you have to say. Making note of anything that seems noteworthy. Sometimes there are parts of us that really just want to be heard. Our inner child or inner children that really just want to tell us something, want to let us know how they're feeling or what they need to feel a little bit more loved and cared for. And as you're listening to whatever comes up for you, if anything at all, just noticing any physical responses to these thoughts. Maybe when you listen to one voice, your shoulders come up toward the ears, or maybe your stomach tightens, maybe your hands clench. And you may notice that each individual part of you may seem like it's linked to a part of your body. And sometimes when we have intrusive or repeating thoughts that aren't helpful for us, what can be the most helpful is to first acknowledge what the thought is. Not push it away, just accept it as part of our reality. followed by finding where it is located in our body. And rather than telling our mind to stop thinking, which will never work, we can come into the physical and tell our bodies to soften. And bring more and more of your awareness into your own anatomy, into what exactly is present within you right now. Maybe even seeing the muscles within you, watching them as you allow them to soften a little bit more. Just feeling the space where your body meets the surface beneath you. And just allowing yourself to exhale into that surface. To just let yourself be held and supported by the earth beneath you. Hugged closer to the earth by the force of gravity. And just reminding yourself of this deep trust, this deep sense of safety, where your body is safe. It will return to the earth, as will your soul return to wherever it came from. And seeing if even just for a moment you can let yourself be held and be safe. And as you remind yourself of this ultimate deep safety that all of us have here, there might be things that come up for you. Maybe some reminders of ways in which maybe you don't feel totally safe in your life. And again, just not ignoring those, not pushing those away or washing over them. But staying with that deep sense of safety as you observe these observations. And let any seeds be planted of maybe future actions for you to make. Just having so much patience with yourself and kindness along this long journey of life we are all on. Know that just because we notice a change that needs to happen in our life, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen right away. And that everything will be fixed and perfect and beautiful immediately. There is that in-between stage of when we notice a change we need to make and the time between when the change is made, or when we feel as if we've made a change that is helpful for us. And a really helpful metaphor for these feelings can just be flowers or plants. And reminding yourself of the time that it takes a flower to bloom. From the time that a seed is planted to the time that we have a beautiful full flower. There is nothing that will take that off course. And it is our job to just provide the light of awareness, the water for growth, the right environment for our flowers to bloom. And also remembering how resilient flowers are. And they can come back and bloom even after a frost, or even after a drought. Even if that seed is moved to a different location. And just remembering all the different flowers that exist within you, all the different aspects, all the different parts that make up who you are. And just having so much patience with yourself. As some flowers may be in full bloom right now, and others may have just been planted. Maybe some are dying off. And we can be in a stage in one portion of our life where we feel like everything is exactly how it needs to be, and simultaneously in another section of life feel like everything is crumbling down. And just knowing that this is how gardens are, and you yourself are your own personal garden. And trying hard to not fixate on one particular aspect that might be causing pain and suffering at all times. And just practicing seeing yourself as a whole, seeing how far you have come already. And even if you're in a place where you don't feel good right now, where you feel like things are really difficult, just reminding yourself that where you are right now will change. And you will look back on this time of your life and most likely feel different about it. And there is nothing that you can do that will take you off course. And you can look back at times of your life where you remember being in so much pain, and maybe you feel the benefits of that right now. Maybe you feel the purpose that was born from that pain. And just letting yourself marinate in this trust of just the course of life, the course of the human experience. And there will be times where you feel full and whole and bright. And there will also be times where you feel like you're in darkness, in the shadows. And there is nothing wrong with you in any of those stages. It just means that you are human and you are moving through the phases of life. You're just having a deep sense of compassion for yourself as you move through life. And you can just continue to observe what comes up for you within you as you just listen to these words written by young Pueblo in his book Clarity and Connection. And just allow anything that resonates to soak into you and not worrying about the rest. Time does not heal all wounds. It just gives them space to sink into the subconscious, where they will continue to impact your emotions and behavior. What heals is going inward, loving yourself, accepting yourself, listening to your needs, addressing your attachments and emotional history, learning how to let go, and following your intuition. It sometimes feels as though time has helped us heal, but all it really has done is teach us to live with the wound. Just because we have stopped thinking about the harm of the past does not mean it is fully healed. The passing of time allows what was first on a conscious level to sink deeper into the mind, where it becomes quiet yet powerful and forces us to behave a certain way. Underneath our conscious thoughts remains the impact of a harmful yesterday. Healing requires moving inward with patience, with honesty, and with courage. If we do not address our accumulated subconscious patterns, they will simply remain there, always affecting how we think, speak, and act. Our accumulated wounds and conditioning will restrict our flexibility and cause us to get stuck in a loop that continues repeating the past. Heartbreak is not always a sad ending. Sometimes it sets in motion a profound transformation. It can open the door to truly loving yourself, becoming more emotionally mature, and learning what type of partner would actually support your happiness. Letting go does not mean you've given up, and it does not mean you no longer care. It just means that you are releasing the attachments of the past that get in the way of your happiness and mental clarity. Letting go is the unbinding and disentangling of old behavior patterns that pull you into unnecessary mental tension and worry. When you can be okay with things not having gone a certain way, life begins again. Making peace with the past opens you up to love and adventure, and allows you to apply the lessons you have learned with a new calmness. Many of us do not realize how much we are actually suffering until our awareness starts to expand. We do not see that our happiness has a ceiling, created by the sorrows and traumas we have repeatedly suppressed. We do not realize that our reactions to life's difficulties stop us from seeing things clearly and place limits on our ability to produce more creative solutions. We do not understand how powerfully our past grips our present. So much of our internal struggle comes from not embracing change. Tension decreases when we understand that change is happening at every level, from the atomic to the biological to the mental. A human being is composed of moving parts, and our identity is no different. It is a dynamic phenomena, similar to a river, flowing, moving, expanding, roaring, weaving, all the time with power, and all the time with the potential to change. Do not limit yourself to a static understanding of who you are. Release your conditioned boundaries and be free. May all of the times that someone has made an incorrect assumption about you activate a new sense of humility and patience in your mind that stops you from doing the same thing to another person in the future. The depth of our relationships is defined by how freely we feel we can deliver our authentic message. The deepest bonds are held together by a bridge of honesty. Real love holds space for vulnerability, a place where we can be open, raw, and even share parts of ourselves that are not fully formed, but are ready to be expressed. Whether within ourselves or in front of someone who is close to us, vulnerability asks for non-judgmental acceptance of our imperfections. This is a form of compassion that can help us observe our story in a different light, hopefully transforming what was once burdensome into a more insightful understanding. This is also a form of compassion that allows us to accept the way things are without trying to change it. Sometimes vulnerability just asks to be seen and heard. If we are far away from ourselves, if we are not honest with ourselves, and if we are full of unexamined emotions and conditioning, we will naturally find it difficult to be close to others. It becomes easier to give loving support when we have taken the time to explore our inner world and let go of the subconscious patterns that do not align with how we want to show up for one another. When you feel agitated because you think someone you love is not growing quickly enough, remember that you had to go slowly before you could make real progress. Managing your expectations and knowing that people grow at their own speed will save you from interrupting your peace. You can just take the next few moments to let everything you've heard settle. And anything that rang as true to you, it really resonated with you on some level. Just reminding yourself that these are things that you already know to be true. So just letting that trust with yourself be enhanced. Reminding yourself that there is not one other person or book or teacher that can teach you more about yourself and your patterns and all aspects of you than what you can teach you. Than what quiet time with yourself, with your thoughts, can teach you. Just giving yourself that permission to examine yourself, to learn from yourself. is to trust your own instincts with healing. If it feels like something you would like to do today, you can let your hands find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. And just feeling your own heartbeat. This constant reminder of the life that is being given to you. And just taking a final deep breath into your body and letting yourself fill up the most you have today. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of as your head gently bows. And just taking this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights, and may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.